presentation, mastering expired listings. Something that I've been doing on and off for about the past 5 years now. I did them with my dad. This is basically the same type of presentation with a little bit more pizzazz with it. Those of you who can't see on the webinar, I'm holding my listing presentation that I'll be giving out a little bit later on today. Expired listings are a great way to get listings. And well, people ask, why is that? Why are you going to go after an expired listing? Well, number one, they already want to sell, so there's no question if they want to sell. And number two, they need an aggressive agent to sell their property, because now they're pissed off at their current agent because they tried to sell their house and they couldn't. And they might have missed an opportunity to make an extra $20,000 or $30,000, just like the market we're quickly shifting into. It's going to be a very big seller's market here in the next 2.5 months. I don't know if any of you have seen what's going on with our inventory out there, but we don't have enough to last us through summer. It's dwindling very quickly. So we're going to see what we saw in 2009 with the REOs, where you're working with buyers submitting 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 offers for one client. That's going to start coming back again here very shortly. So same thing I've been teaching my agents that we need to really start doing is stop focusing on buyers and start focusing on the listings, because it is going to be that market again where you put the sign in the ground and it's going to sell in less than a week. It's going to be that market, and it's already starting to become that. I already see it working with a few buyers. 6 months ago there was maybe 1 or 2 offers on a property. Now there's 6, 7, 8 offers for one property. So it's getting there again. So we as agents have to go out there and get the listings. There's plenty of inventory to move. The banks aren't releasing it, so you have to go after the short sales. Expired listings are another big one to go pick up after. Just this morning I ran, just for LA County alone, there were 7 expired listings. Everyone complains that there's not enough expired listings. 7 every day times 5 days a week, that's 50 new prospects that you're selling easy every week. Times that by 4 or 5 weeks out of the month, you're talking a minimum of 200 to 250 sellers every month. I think that's enough prospects for us to go out there and try and get at least one listing. Do you think out of 250 potential sellers that expire, you think you could probably get one listing? I think one is very minuscule. If you were a good closer, you could probably get 10 or 15 of those. Okay, and the report I ran this morning also, there were no REOs. Half of them were standard sales, half of them were short sales. So out of 7, that wasn't bad. And you do see a couple REOs that expire, but nothing we can really do about those unless you know anyone at the bank to get that asset. But expireds are a great way to do it. There's going to be 2 different ways I'll be showing you how to do it. One's the easy and lazy way. Some way that'll work better for others. I try to do it this way just because it saves me time. And then there's the traditional way of doing it. I'm not going to be talking about really cold calling them. I think that's more of a follow-up system than it is a closing system. People that are selling their house that haven't been able to sell it, I think they're at a point of almost desperation. Not really desperate, but they're looking for answers. I don't think anyone calling on the phone, even though Mike Ferry teaches that, I think you can close much better in person than just on the phone. So let's get started here. So this is a nice little picture I found on the internet. If the listing on your home expired, you've come to the right place. So you can probably just stick this into your marketing presentation I'll be going through in a little bit. The agenda is how to find expired listings if you don't already know how to do so. And I've had a few people actually call me this morning and ask me, how do you find your expired listings? Talking about, do you use Revo Gateway? Do you use the MLS? What do you use? So I'll be showing you the way I do it. Creating our expired listing package. In my package, I probably have about 20 to 30 pages of content material. Why your property didn't sell, what we do to make it sell, blah, blah, blah. We'll talk about routing. A lot of these properties, the way I do it is I'm just going to drive by them and drop this package off to them. I'm not really going to knock on their door and try and spend some time with them because I want to hit all 10 or 15 that I can in one day and do it quickly. So we'll be using Google Maps and how to route these, because a lot of us have questions with, well, how do you get to all 20 properties in one day without having to go back and forth? Really easy way to do it. Okay. And then door knocking, I have a script. It's a pretty simple script. Okay, it drills hard to what the seller wants to hear, what they want as far as selling, and it's more geared for a short sale. Can be used for a standard sale, but a short sale is going to be much easier to close. And typically on our market, short sales are the listings that are expiring. You know, the standard sales that are out there, and there are a few, most of the time they're going to be investor-owned homes. And even if we did, you know, contact them, they're probably going to stick with their agent because they have it listed for $1,000 flat fee or whatever the case may be, or it's their own investment and they're selling it themselves. Okay, so a little bit different with the standard sales. So finding expireds, we all have the MLS, so you're going to log into your MLS. That's what I use. I don't use Revo Gateway to find this source. Okay, and you're going to run this based on last plus the best way. There's no the best, but it's going to be basically off-market information. Okay, it tells the last date that was in the market. Okay, that's a technical close of escrow by the MLS. So finding expireds. So as soon as you log in, I am on PWR, so I don't know if you're with different boards how it looks, but we're all going to be doing the basic same thing. You're going to be running a quick search, and you're probably most likely going to be doing this for residential properties. Now, if you're doing commercial real estate or you're focusing on investments with the residential income, it's the same thing. You're going to be applying the same knowledge that I'll be sharing with you. You're just going after a different market. The only issues with income property is most of the time they're not owner-occupied. So if you drop them off, you're leaving them with a tenant. Not really good. That's not going to do you any good as far as that goes. So with the regular properties, regular single-family residences, you should be doing a lot better with closing on them. So after you get into your little dashboard screen, finding expireds, you can click on county, and this is what I do, because there's not going to be enough expireds in any one city because our inventory is dwindling away. I do it by county. Now, I'm sure everyone here would take a listing in Torrance. I'm sure everyone here would take a listing, you know, in Carson and Norwalk, all the way up wherever, in Pomona. I'm sure we'd all drive out that way to get a listing, right? So I just focus on the county. So on the county, you're going to put LA, and then on the city, you're going to put a percentage sign. And the percentage sign is telling the computer, pull everything in that city, or everything in that county. Every city can be listed, okay? Then you also want to make sure you check the box for expired, okay? You don't want to pull actives. Everyone got that part? Okay, so you're on the county, you're going to make sure you want to put LA. That's the short code. The city, you're going to put a percentage sign. And then on the status, you just want to make sure you check off expired because that's what we're looking for, is expired listings. Okay. Then after that, this is a bottom screenshot. You'll scroll down. It'll say off-market information. And you're going to put COE end date. So close of escrow or the end date is basically what it's saying. So the listing expires. That was the end date. And what's the end date that you're looking for? The date that it expired. So the tough part about expired listings is you can only do them the day they expire. Yes, you can look them up in the future, but if the listing agent re-signs and lists it again, now you're not knocking on an expired listing anymore. You're knocking on an active listing. So you want to make sure that it expires the day you're beginning going out. So, word of advice, just like the way I do it. I get up early in the morning. I have all my packages already done. The only thing I'm changing on it is one page of a sample cover letter. And I put a picture of their property on that letter so I know that I've taken time out of my day to personalize this package. I'm not just throwing away, you know, generic information on their door. I'm actually making it specific for them. And it's very simple. It's very, very simple. I look up the title, I look up their names, put it on there. I take a picture off the MLS and I put it on my flyer cover letter, and that's it. Okay, very simple. It'll take you an extra 2 minutes to give you that little bit more personal touch. So just down there where you see the red arrow on the close of escrow end date, you're going to put today's date whenever you're doing it. So every day you're going to have to put that in there. Okay. If you, like I said, if you do it in advance, the listing agent can get an extension of time, relist the property, and you might be trying to get ahead one day, so you can do it the day before, but he may relist it that night and it's active again the next morning. So now you're not, it goes against MLS regulations and all that. So just be careful with that. So finding expireds, again, this is the search today. If you run LA County, these are all the properties you're going to see. So there's one in Glendale, there's one in Inglewood, two in LA, and I don't know those other two, Lake and SPS, I don't know those cities, and Torrance. I know those short codes. So out of the 7, I know 5 of those cities. I think everyone here I probably wouldn't drive to Glendale, but I'd probably hit the Torrance, LA, and Inglewood ones. Those are pretty much our immediate area, and won't run into too much traffic in the morning. So you can just kind of take a look at that. It's going to vary by day. When I'm doing this, sometimes there's only 2 or 3 that'll pop up in LA County. Other days I do it, and there's 20 or 30 that pop up. So it's going to vary every single day. There's never going to be like an exact number that's going to be, oh, there's 50 expired listings today. Perfect. It's not going to be like that. Okay, it's going to vary every single day. So what you want to do is you want to check and make sure that the properties that you're going after aren't REOs, okay, because you can't really prospect an REO. Okay, so you want to make sure you click on them and check the special conditions. So it says standard sale. I can go ahead and attack that prospect. So I'm just going to mark the box select. And I did that 7 times, and all these listings, as I said earlier, they were all standard sales or short sales. So these are all people I can actually meet the owners, talk to them, and actually have a potential for listing that property. Okay, you just want to make sure you don't go after the REOs. Okay, you don't want to waste your time with that. After you're done, you're going to want to click on Full Report. And again, this is for PWR customers, but I'm sure everyone's basically the same stuff. You want to do an agent full page, and I print those out, and on my presentation I'll be showing you in a second, I staple it to the cover of my manila folder. I highlight expired. I put both of my cards on the front, both Frank's and I's, and this is what I drop off on their doorstep. So I know that, hey, your property came up for expired listing, here's all my information, okay? And I'm highlighting it that it's expired so they can see that right away that, maybe they don't know that it's expired. Chances are if it's a short sale, they may not know. So now if it is expired, there's your opportunity to close, because most people with a short sale take it out for at least 6 months. I take it out for a year. So, you can really tell how long that property is on the market and if that agent has or has not been doing their job. Okay? So creating our expired package. So now I'm going to go into our, got to close this. There's quite a bit of pages that are on my expired listing. Okay, can everyone hear me on the webinar? I just got some. Okay, I think so. Okay, perfect. All right. So I'm going to go into my expired listing package now. I have quite a few documents, and I'm just going to put them in the keynote because they're too big. Any questions while I'm doing this, before we get on to the package part of it? Everyone's good? Expired. There we go. Okay, so here it is. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. What is that? 10 different documents. Yes. I'll open up the first one. Okay, so this is a little sample of what's going to be inside of my expired listing package. Very simple. Just kind of introducing ourselves to them. Okay, and I'll be emailing everyone this stuff later on today. Okay, so just make sure you have the information so I can email it over to you. The next one, I think is a farm sample. Let me see if I actually use this one. Yep. Okay, so this is another marketing piece that I include in there. So I try to make it about their area. So if I'm going to go door knocking area in Inglewood, I want to make sure that my flyer has Inglewood properties on there. So I just change it out and letting them know, hey, I pass out flyers in the area. You may have seen one of my flyers put on your doorstep. I'm an active agent in your area. This is what I do. Okay, that's all that you're trying to do. You have to show them that you are a marketing expert. Okay, because that's what people believe. If you're a marketing expert, you're going to sell their house. Okay. A fax form, I don't really use that anymore because nobody uses the fax. It's all email. Okay, open houses. Just letting them know that I do open houses to sell their property. So this is another proof of in the works that I work when I get listings. I just don't put them in the MLS and hope they sell. Okay, because you have to really convince the seller that you're going to work, because their current agent did not work to move that listing. Okay. So very simple. Everyone's made open house flyers before. No big deal. This is something that unique that Frank and I have put together. It's love it or leave it guarantee. So it's about for the new prospective buyer, that we're so confident that they're going to love that home that we're going to guarantee that either that or we'll purchase it back from them. Okay. So it's a great benefit to the seller. I'll be emailing this to you as well. Like I said, here's a property cover sheet. So your home sold in 45 days or less, guaranteed. It's, realistically, I can change that to 2 weeks, because if I get a listing and it doesn't sell in 2 weeks, I don't want it anyways. It's not going to sell if it doesn't sell that quickly. Okay, and we all know that as agents. As soon as you put that sign up and do a couple open houses, you know if you're going to be able to sell it or if it's going to sit in your inventory list. Nobody wants it sitting. Okay, so just like I said, this is the personalized part. I take a picture of the MLS and throw it on there so that they can see I'm taking some time out of my day to put this package together specifically for them. Okay, and here's the seller's guarantee. This is basically just a right to cancel. Okay, we're so confident in what we do, and like I said, I should change this to 2 weeks, because if you get a listing for the right price, it's going to sell. So you don't need to take a listing out for 45 days on a standard sale or even a short sale. Short sale you have to, because you got to keep it listed the whole time you're going through it. But on a standard sale, any type of property out there, if you can't sell it in less than 2 weeks, you're not going to. Okay, it's just anyone that's a listing agent knows that. Properties are moving quickly, and they're going to start moving even more quickly. So we don't sign this when we give this to them, and we leave it blank. But if they're interested, then we come back and we'll sign it to make everything, in writing for them, and just shows more appreciation for them for what they're giving to you, and it gives them an option. Hey, we list with you, we have nothing to lose. We can cancel at any time. Basically, what it is. And if you're doing short sales, I have a short sale letter. This I actually signed, both Frank and I signed before we go out. And it says just real simple about what short sales are. We can probably get the money negotiated on a short sale. Chase is offering up to $35,000 to do a short sale for the current homeowners, so we advertise that. You may be eligible to receive up to $35,000 in moving assistance. Call us today to see if you qualify, blah, blah, blah. Okay? These are all just crutches to help you get in the door. Okay? That's how you got to look at it. And you're going to be doing all this stuff anyways, but a lot of us, we just go and we just door knock, and having a presentation is going to make you look polished. Just a quick example, when I was taking in agents into our office as I was recruiting them, I didn't have a presentation on my computer. I would just do everything just talking to them. And I actually ended up losing an agent to another office because I had a presentation. So I made a presentation. I pretty much close everyone that comes in the door now. And it makes it look clean. It puts you on track when you're doing your spill. Every other realtor that's out there, I guarantee they're not going to have a package or a presentation like this for them to go through. They're just going to come in, your house looks good, the area, you could probably get about $325 for it. How professional does that sound? How professional does that look? You're just giving them a random number. You're not doing any work. You don't have any package. It's not going to look really good. Okay, having all these little crutches is what puts you over the top. Okay. Go on to the next one. So, table of contents and selling points. Here's a pretty large package. It's about, let's see how many pages. 7 pages long of all the little different marketing action plans that we have in place. So we have your home sold in 45 days or less, seller guarantee. At Excellence Real Estate, we have Los Angeles Times ads. So we get to put our clients' listings in the LA Times at no charge to them. So it makes it look really good in the listing table, and says, hey, and just like with every other agent that's out there, I'm going to put a sale sign on your property, do the open houses, pass out flyers in the area. But what other agents have you seen that are going to put your property in the Los Angeles Times, the world's 3rd largest newspaper? Don't you think that's probably going to be able to help you sell your property a little bit better, a little bit quicker? So it just gives you that little bit of extra push that other agents can't do. Okay, so for me, I have that. You know, if you're not with excellence, then you may not have that. So just fill it in with something else that you do have that other agents don't. Because what you need to be is unique. You need to be different than everybody else. Because mostly everyone has access to the same stuff, and most agents are average and ordinary, and they all do the same things. So you need to do things that define yourself as an agent to be able to close these listings. How much should you ask for your home? So this goes into pricing and helps them better structure it. So I go in with reports if they are more of a standard sale, and I show them, hey, this is what if you list your property at $325 for the highest peak of the market, this is what it's going to do in terms of selling, blah, 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 and how many price reductions you're going to have to do. Or you can go ahead and list it at $295, and you're probably going to end up somewhere around $325 anyways with simple supply and demand. Okay? You start lower, you're going to get high anyways. You start high, you end up low. That's the case with every listing that's out there on the market. Ask anyone that's taken a high listing, that's what always ends up happening, is they have to reduce it because they can't sell. Buyers aren't done today. They want the lowest price possible. But buyers are also smart in the sense that they know if the price is low, they have to offer more because everyone's looking at it. Okay, so it's a really easy strategy to explain to the seller. You just have to have confidence when you're speaking to them. And the way I do this, so you guys can know, is okay, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, your home's worth $325,000, and there's another 25 listings in the area that are all between $315,000 to $330,000. Now, if we come in and we list it at $299,000, and we're the lowest property in the area, and your property still looks good, don't you think all those buyers for all those properties, all their eyes are going to be on this one now? What do you think is going to happen to the price of your property? It's going to go up because you're going to get 10, 20, or 30 offers very quickly on a lower priced property, and they're all going to be offering more because all their agents are going to tell them, ooh, they priced it really low, we have to offer more. Everyone that's on the webinar here now, you know that. If you see a property that's priced low, you're offering at least $10,000 or $15,000 more because you know what's going to happen. But you list at those high numbers, and the attractiveness of that listing isn't the same. You know, it doesn't look the same. Oh, they want $334. I don't want to look at it. But you list it at $295, and you'll end up offering them, you know, $310, $315, $320 for it anyways. You know, and you're selling at the real fair market value for the property, and you're forcing the buyer to put a higher offer on it, which is, I think, the best advice you could probably do. Just something a little more about Frank and I. Buyers live it or leave it guarantee. Something else again. Local knowledge we could retire with. Okay. Proven track record in real estate. Dominating website presence. This is something I find is really crucial to us, and it's something that's becoming more and more dominating with selling real estate is your online web presence. More agents are using it. One thing that I can do is I can get our listings #1 in Google search. So aside from having, you know, the LA Times is one of my tools, I also have Google search. Dear Mr. and Mrs. Seller, if a buyer drives by your property and puts in your address in Google, don't you think our website should show up #1 for that? And the answer is always going to be yes. And I'm going to ask them, well, how many other agents can do that for you? None. And then I can show them, I'll take a listing off our website, put it in Google, and our website will show up #1 in the Google search. So simple little things that we're all missing is what we need to do. Okay? And like I said, you have to find things that are going to define you and make you unique as an agent. You have to do things that are different. Okay? Come on here. Okay, we do a little bit of direct mail marketing. So if it's in a higher price point area home, we will spend a little bit more money on the properties. So properties that are, you know, about $500,000 and up, because you're making, you know, $15,000 or $20,000 on the commission, or more if you double end it. So this depends. Direct mail marketing can be a little expensive, but it also still works. Okay. Other brokers working to sell your home. This is still a pretty current demographic of where the buyers actually sit, and 50% of all the buyers are already working with an agent before they even see your property. So we have to have the property listed with the MLS. So this is just saying to them, hey, you know what, I'm going to list your property, I'm going to do everything I can to still get it sold, but this is just a fact of life that 50% of all the buyers out there are in contact with another agent. So some sellers may not want the property listed on the MLS, which doesn't make sense. But this is another tool to help you get that property listed on the MLS, because that fact is still the same, that half the buyers out there are already working with an agent. They're not using Trulia, Redfin to find properties anymore, at least most of them. They're using the agent's, client gateway system or whatever the case, whatever they have. They're probably using that and relying on their agent to find the property now. And let's see, caravans and open houses. So same thing that everyone already does. We're just putting it in words for them to be able to see it. Okay. Marketing brochures, we put those together for them as well. An appreciation for quality. This is just another little piece if they're going more for the flip side of the business. That's something else you could put in there. So putting all these things bulleted, when they open up this package and they start reading it, what are they going to say? Wow, he does a lot of stuff to market to move this house. The last agent I had didn't have any of this information. Didn't say anything like this. So it's going to push you over the top. Okay? Let's see if I have any more. Oh, I do. So here's some of our marketing samples for website advertising. This is more in lines for Craigslist, things like that. But most agents, again, still aren't doing it. Even though they know how to do it, they just don't do it. So you have to be able to put these types of things in there. So we put it in Trulia, Yahoo, Real Estate, Realtor.com, all these different websites that are out there. Okay, just that they can see you're marketing the property. It's the same thing over and over again: marketing, marketing, marketing. You have to be able to put all these things in your action plan. That's what, again, they missed with the first agent, and you have to be very aggressive. Okay, I've just a personal story with me. I went after a property that was in Cerritos. I believe it was listed for about $600,000 or $700,000. Knocked on the door, gave him the package, started going into my spiel, and then he stopped me, started yelling at me, "Oh, you're just a blood-sucking vulture realtor coming after us. My property didn't sell." And I said, "Well, sir, your property didn't sell because there's probably a price point difference on it. I mean, there's a reason why it didn't sell in today's market. I list the property, I get it sold in less than 2 weeks, so there's a reason why it didn't sell." And I said, "Let me ask you, if I can get you an offer in the next 24 hours, would you list your property today?" He said, "Yeah." I said, "Okay, well, great. Let's go ahead and list your property." "No, you're just a blood-sucking vulture realtor, blah, blah, blah." So it was a good story for me. I was going to go back and knock on the door later on, but, you're always going to get hit with these little arguments, and even though you have all this stuff all the time, he's probably just an overpriced listing at the end of the day. So don't get discouraged either when you're going out there knocking on the doors to what actually happens. Any questions with this? You guys all want it, right? Let me jump back on the webinar. Okay, everyone can still hear me perfect? Let's see here. Back to my keynote. Okay, so routing, so back out of the keynote presentation. So how many of you are already familiar with Google Maps? Very familiar, most of you? Okay, so it's pretty easy to do, and everyone always asks me if your GPS auto routes, if you put 10 destinations in it or whatever. Google Maps is probably one of the easiest ones to do it. So what I start off with is wherever I'm going to be heading out from, wherever I'm going to be headed to first. So let's put this address of 1447 West 151st Street, and this is Compton. Okay, directions. Okay, I'm going to say I'm leaving my office. And then we're going to add another destination. This is 335 33rd Street, and this is in Long Beach. And we'll add another destination of coming back to the office. Okay, so I should be doing more of these, but when you're doing 10 a day, this is becoming real handy for you. You can click on Get Directions. Now you can see it kind of just threw me all over the place, but you can move which one of these where you want to go first. So We're at A, which is over here. B is going to be over here, and C. So they're pretty far apart. But once you get quite a few listings, what you can do is just separate them like this. Maybe you want to go to Long Beach first. Go to Long Beach first, then go down to Compton, and then come back up to the office. So you can map it whichever way you want to do it. Okay, so once you get 10 or 15 of these in one day, this is going to come in really handy for you. You can't really notice it too well with just 2 of these properties. But once you get, like I said, about 10 or 15 of them, you'll be able to put it, and the way I do it is I just put it in a big circle. That's where I want to go. I'm going to start at either my house and work my way into the office, or I'm going to start at the office and I'm going to work my way back probably to the office or either go home. And you don't want to be going east, west, and back all around. You want to just get it all done real quick and easy. So, anyone have questions with this? Okay. Going through this pretty quickly. All right, so door knocking and the script. So I have the script pretty much ready for you guys. It's much more of an easier script. So if you guys want to break off into some groups now, I'll turn on the light. And what I can do is I'll print some of these off. So everyone on the webinar, I'm going to put up the script right now for you to see. And if you're at your office, I would just grab somebody that's there with you so you can see or start testing this, because the only way you're going to be good at being able to close is if you know how to talk to them. Now, like I said, the way I do it is I take my presentation, I put it together, I go drop it off on their doorstep. For me, I'm focusing on numbers rather than closing in one thing, one person. But then I'm also following up again with a follow-up call, because most of the time these numbers are listed on the MLS to contact for showings, blah, blah, blah. So I'll follow up with them. Okay. Expired listings usually stay expired for about a day, maybe 2 at the most. Okay, so your chances of closing is, you got 1 day to do it, maybe 2 if you're lucky. Okay, so I recommend door knocking. As an agent, you have more time than me as the owner. Not to say I shouldn't be doing it or I can't do it. I just don't want to make the time really to spend more time doing that. But door knocking is going to be your best thing to do it, because you can talk to them, get in front of them, and close with them. Anyone that'll ask if you can talk to somebody on the phone or get them in person, you're going to close a lot better in person. It's a fact of life. So let me print some of these out. Like I said, everyone that's on the webinar, like I said, go and grab somebody in your office so you can practice the script. I'll leave it open up onto my screen. This is a simple script, and I kept it simple because you guys need to get the script down first before you start throwing in some monkey wrenches.